the one that stood out the most was this one. Doesn't it look like our baby's got the biggest nose? Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, and I should be welcoming myself back to my channel as I haven't done a video for a good couple of months now, and there is good reason for that. If you look at the title of this video, it says that I'm pregnant, and I'm pregnant. I am coming up to halfway through my pregnancy. I don't want to share what week I am right now. I wanted to record this video for ages, but with being pregnant and everything that comes with being pregnant, with life surrounded around the pregnancy, it's been really difficult, and I've honestly, from the bottom of my heart, just not wanted to record any videos, and you can't record a video if your heart's not really in it at all. So yes, I am pregnant, and this video, I want it to be all based around the first trimester and how I have felt. I've been keeping a diary on my pregnancy pretty much since the beginning, well, until this book arrived anyways. I got this off of Amazon. This is On Cloud 9. I thought it was a really cute book to be able to keep track of what is going on in my pregnancy. So I want this video to be based around the first trimester, when we found out, how I found out. It's all quite a shock, especially when you think it's not going to happen and then it does. It's crazy. It honestly is. It's really, really crazy. My last video was about 2 months ago, and then I had family come and visit, and I'd found out just after my family had left that I was pregnant, and I had this funny feeling that I was. My boobs don't normally hurt. They started to hurt and feel a bit more full. I tested around 8 days after my period, and I got a positive test, and I did it on just a normal shitty Spanish one, and then I did it on a clear blue the same evening. And they say that you're meant to wait till your morning's like urine, and I just couldn't wait. I just said to Ben, is that a line? Is that a line? Oh my God, that's a line. That's a line. Let's go on to the clear blue. And yeah, he was like, no, wait till the morning. It would probably be better if you wait till the morning. And I'm like, no, can't wait, gotta do it now. And lo and behold, I was pregnant. So I have this book that I got from Amazon, and I have been keeping track of when I found out I was pregnant, baby names, all things like that. And I think it's a great idea. Basically, in this book, it gives me a section where I can say how I found out I was pregnant. So I'll just read it to you. Bought 2 tests after family had flown home, had the shittest day at work, and thought just maybe a positive would cheer me up. Took a first response and it came up positive, and then I took a clear blue digital test and that came up positive as well. And then it has another section here with saying how I felt. So we couldn't believe it, kept checking the 2 lines and the digital test. Ben, my husband, was pretty much in shock. Not shocked because he didn't want us to be pregnant, but I think you get into that point where we had tried for 6 months, and we tried, okay? If you know what I mean, we tried, and then we stopped trying in the last month, and that is the month we got pregnant. And so I guess it's true, if you kind of sometimes take a step back and don't push yourself too hard, yeah, it can happen, and it did for us. It says here that Ben was in shock, hanging over the sink, and I told my brother and my sister that we had a little peanut growing, and since then I have called our baby Peanut. It just stuck. And at the bottom here, then it gives you hopes and fears. Now, we all know I'm a smoker. I was a smoker. As soon as I found out, I had my last cigarette and I had my last glass of red wine, and that was it. And I have not touched cigarettes since, and alcohol I haven't drunk at all. I mean, I've had maybe a sip of my husband's beer, but other than that, nothing. Completely teetotal, no smoking, no drinking, and I feel great for it. And it was the easiest giving up job I've ever had to do. Some of my fears when I found out I was pregnant, yeah, it was, oh my goodness, I'm not going to be able to smoke. It's going to be the longest time ever not smoking. And when you get to doing like a long period of time not smoking, there is no point starting again. And I've always started, I think, after about 4 months, and I'm about four months no smoking now. So some fears were not smoking ever again, finally have a reason to stop, money, work. I was so like focused on, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get so fat, my weight gain, and just at the beginning praying to get to 12 weeks. Inside, I just found it really difficult to enjoy the pregnancy because I was so worried. Like, before you've had a scan or heard the heartbeat or anything, you're like, is there a baby in there? Like, what's happening? It's very mixed emotions and quite scary at the beginning. So this book basically gives me week by week, and every time I reach a new week, I put in about the week previously before. But I've written in here, and I'm not going to read every single bit to you, but I'm going to give you guys an all-round kind of explanation of how I have felt in my first trimester. And I really didn't find it very easy. It's nothing that you expect it to be. all like unicorns and rainbows and stuff. For me, it hasn't been. I found it a lot more emotionally challenging. Yeah, it's been quite emotional. I'm not gonna lie. I started writing in this book from week 4, and things that I had from week 4 of pregnancy was that I just had strange cramps, headaches. I had backache to start off with straight away, backache on and off. I felt really, really nauseous. I haven't thrown up at all since being pregnant. I have just felt so nauseated, just constantly feeling sick. And the only time that I didn't feel sick was when I was eating. So you have to eat to not feel sick, and then if you don't eat, you feel sick. So it's kind of like this circle thing going on. So I knew something was up. I had family over. I just got back from Scotland. I missed a period, and this is all how I was feeling around the finding out time. Moving on to week 5, I went to go and see an English midwife, just because living here in Spain, I just wanted a bit more information that I understood straight away. I'm good with my Spanish. I can speak Spanish really well. But when it comes to like the medical side of things, I just wanted to make sure I was doing everything right to begin with. Again, like the backache continued. I felt really emotional. I didn't sleep very well. And I think it's just all of a mixture of just knowing that you're growing a human inside you. You know it's going to be extremely life-changing. So moving up to when I was 7 weeks pregnant, I wrote down that I was feeling extremely exhausted. I was so emotional. Emotional roller coaster is what I've written in here. Crazy mood swings, my mood, I'm angry, I'm sad, I'm super thirsty at night, and that's just started to ease off, but I was so thirsty at night. All I wanted to do was drink water. So then because I drink water all night, I'm peeing all night. So then my sleep is disturbed and my mood's all over the place. And I did still work out through my first trimester. I was aiming to do at least 2 to 3 workouts. So to keep doing my routine and just keep kind of plodding along as normal. So when I got to around week 8, I still was feeling nauseous and still having backache and weepy and happy and just a whole mixture of emotions. At week 8, we decided to go for a scan and do this privately. I needed to know if everything was okay. I don't know how people wait until 12 weeks. I just couldn't. It just felt like it was too long. I needed the reassurance that everything was okay. So we had a scan just before I was touching 9 weeks pregnant, and the scan showed that I was measuring around 8 weeks, and we heard the baby's heartbeat, and it was just crazy to know that there was something in there with a heartbeat. And I thought, as soon as I've heard the heartbeat, that means I can relax. And that is when we told our friends, surprised them, literally just said, oh, cheers to your new house, and oh, I can't drink this. And my friend Jade was like, yeah, you're not pregnant. And I was like, no, well, actually I am. And it was just tears and really emotional. It was just amazing. All very emotional in these beginning weeks, guys. All very emotional. So as I got into weeks 9 and 10, I was again feeling very up and down. I had started to get more anxiety about everything, about past, about present. I started to really suffer with some depressive episodes, which I looked into and was told that it's very normal for a person without having any previous depression and anxiety to start feeling like that, but also for a person who has been through depression and anxiety, it's very easily flared back up again because of the raging hormones that your body is going through. And I won't lie, that has been what has been the hardest part about becoming pregnant, is kind of this self-analyzing of myself from before to now to being married to just everything. It just makes you really look at yourself. And obviously you want to be the best you can be for your child and in the future and everything. But for me, I just felt kind of like this cloud had sat on top of me, and I really wanted to enjoy my pregnancy, and I was struggling to. And when you expect something to be amazing, and then it gets to that point and you just feel sick and not sleeping and moody and just crazy hormones, it's really hard to pick out the positive bits of that. The only positive bits you can pick out is, I'm having a baby, and at the end of this, that baby is going to be the only thing that matters. But when you're in that kind of mindset, it's very difficult to get out. The best thing I had was the support of Ben, my husband. He's been amazing, and whatever I thought of, whatever thoughts, past, present, anything like that, I would just talk to him about it, because it's better to get it out than just to hold everything in. So I've learnt over time to speak out instead of holding things to myself. It's much better that way. There was quite a few times where I would be like absolutely fine, and then I would just see Ben walk into the kitchen and I would just start crying. And then I'd laugh at myself and think, why am I crying? This is ridiculous. There's nothing wrong that's upsetting me, but I could easily cry still now at lots of things. You just feel very overwhelmed, and I felt quite tearful. So going into week 11, I was still suffering with a lot of depression, and I've started kind of having, I know when I have started having obsessive thoughts, like kind of like OCD type thing, and this isn't something that I had too much before. When I got depressed, I had a lot of, I'd flick from one thing to the next thing to the next thing, and I'd go to loads of different things and then start obsessing about it. And then I noticed then, and still now, that happens. So I know that it's not actually my thoughts and stuff, it's literally just the way that my mind is working, where I'm obsessed about one thing and then I forget about it and I'll go to the next thing, and that's when I know it's kind of my anxiety, a bit depression all playing there. I don't take any medication now. I haven't done since last year. I stopped taking meds for depression and anxiety. You can't take any medication while you're pregnant, especially here in Spain. They're just no. Medication for depression, no. Just deal with it. Very straightforward here. So I had blood tests done, and I had my midwife appointment just before I hit 12 weeks. So I've got midwife, blood's okay. At 11 weeks, I had only put on 0.4 kilos, so half a kilo, which I'm really surprised because I was kind of eating just what I wanted. Tinned tomatoes, just tomatoes and salt. It's kind of the one thing that I've wanted to eat, and I liked it anyways, but now is like kind of when I craved it. So heading into week 12 and coming towards the end of the first trimester, I had my 12-week scan. I was 12 weeks and 5 days when I had my scan. There is little Peanut. So cute. There's a couple more that they gave us, but the one that stood out the most was this one. Doesn't it look like our baby's got the biggest nose? Heading into week 12, towards the end of the second trimester, my nausea started to ease off a bit. Now, I'm quite thankful that I wasn't a throwing up person. I was extremely exhausted. If I had to mention kind of the top few things I suffered with, exhaustion, like a mother fudger. I was so exhausted. I could sleep all the time. I didn't want to get out of bed, and I just didn't have the energy to do anything. So exhaustion, and I still find myself being exhausted, but no way like I was in first trimester. First trimester exhaustion, for all the women out there that have been pregnant and have felt that, will know and will sympathise that the tiredness and feeling exhausted in the first trimester is not fun. And the nausea, I found the nausea really annoying, just always on and off feeling sick. And then obviously the depression and anxiety and kind of the way that my mind was working, it was difficult. That is something that I have found really hard, and it's difficult when people go, oh, everything's fine, don't worry about this, let's focus on this. It's easy to say, but when you're in that mindset, it's not easy to do. But all I can say is that I'm healthy, I am happy, I am okay, and I have a very good support system here. Now everyone's a little bit kind of curious as to when the second trimester starts. I assumed it was 12 weeks, but it's not. Apparently it's 13 going into 14. I don't know, I think it changes. I think everyone's got different ideas. When I hit 14 weeks, that was the end of my first trimester. So for week 13, I wrote down that I was feeling less emotional, tired, but a bit better. I still had those obsessive thoughts, very happy and sad, very all over the place. We had Ben's birthday. It was his 30th birthday. I'd planned a trip to Valencia, so we had a weekend in Valencia. It was amazing. It's very difficult to go out, and there's a certain point you reach where everyone's getting drunk and you're the sober pregnant one, and you come across really moody and emotional, and all you want to do is go home. Yeah, I hit that point that weekend. Yeah, it was bound to happen at some point. Oh yeah, just before we went to that weekend, I had a midwife appointment. I was 2 kilos up, so she was extremely happy from that. So in like 14 weeks, I had only put 2 kilos on, which I don't know what that is in pounds. I think it's like 4.4 pounds or something. Around 12 to 13 weeks, it says baby is the size of a lime. 13 weeks, baby is the size of a peach. So baby's not that big. I can admit I'm not skinny and I'm not overweight, but I have got some podge on me. Around 14 weeks, and this will be where I kind of stop the first trimester chat, is around 14 weeks, and I still had quite high anxiety, and I wrote here that my belly popped out a bit. I'm not going to be doing any belly shots. I'm not comfortable with that. Maybe when I'm a bit further along and the belly's like, woohoo, then I'll do that. So guys, that was roughly first trimester for me. Lots of information. I hope it's helpful. I did myself Google so much and look on YouTube at every little symptom I had and wanted to see what other people were feeling at this week and that week. In the first trimester, I just tried to be as good as I could, but really I just did what my body wanted me to do. I did some workouts still, struggled with my emotions. You still come to terms with the fact that you're pregnant. You get to tell people that you're pregnant. Oh, with that, we told our friends and family that we were pregnant when we heard the heartbeat, so between 8 and 9 weeks. We couldn't have held it in anymore. We saw friends before that, and I had to just lie and say I was doing some sort of non-smoking, no drinking detox, because everyone knows that I am either 100% in or like kind of I don't do it at all. So yeah, that was fun to not be able to tell anybody about it. So that was my first trimester. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's exciting. I can't wait. Ben and I are expecting our little peanut. Our due date is on the 4th of November. It's currently today 32, 33 degrees and I'm sitting in here with no air conditioning and I'm absolutely melting. I think that's it. I will be doing a second trimester video once I have fully got through the second trimester. I am still in my second trimester right now, but everything's going great, baby's good, and I can't wait to share with you guys what it's been like through my second trimester because it is very, very different to the first. The first is a roller coaster, and just make sure that you speak openly to people, your partner or family and friends, and just let them know how you're feeling and just go with what your body is telling you to do. That's all I would say. If you guys have any questions for me, feel free to pop them down below, or you can follow me on Instagram or Twitter. I do love my Instagram. Instagram is my favorite, so please follow me on there if you don't already. I'm sorry again that I haven't uploaded anything for a while, and I hope to be uploading more regularly again soon. Hope you liked the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.